Dear viewer, we are scraping fitfully through the Ocarina of Time with lyrics a cappella medley extravaganza. Links to previous episodes can be found in the description, but at the moment we are up to the bit where first we get this. Why don't you feel the love that this game inspires in thousands of lives round the world? Suddenly we got two.
Here's what I'm getting at. The crappy textures make it all look so gross.
Now this is the shop theme, if I'm not grossly mistaken, disgustingly mistaken. Let's find out. That is the most Brent freeze frame I think there's ever been. Well, this one was easy enough. We knew we had to use this because it's so singable. I mean, honestly, and I kind of apologise for this, but I challenge you to hear this tune if you know our song and not kind of hear the words in your head. But there was something about it that really interested me, which was, if I go back, the bass line. You hear that? Now, it seems simple enough, but it's actually a lot more interesting than you might imagine. Here's the sort of composition track where I was writing out the whole song before I started the a cappella, and all you've got, as you can see, are the chords up here, and then the bass line down here. The chords are what you would imagine. They start there, they move in, they move apart, they move together, they're chords. But this, look at it, it's all over the place. Down there, up there, down, up, down, up, down, and scribbly dibbly dibbly. There's nothing repeats. Listen to it, just listen to the bass line when I play it now. Again. Completely different to the first time. What's that all about? Who came up with that? Koji Kondo, I guess. That's a very interesting and unusual way round to do it, and so it led to me thinking that this section, that bass line just made me laugh so much, so I thought maybe we can make them laugh with this bit, with the bass line in our version. We'll make it funny. So my first draft of that section had this really expressive, silly bass line that was like boo boop de bow, a bow boo bow, boop de bow do bow, dow do do, do bow, bow do do, boo bow, bow boo dow, bow do do, be dow, do bow. And I'll link you to that demo now. It's going to be here if you want to go and listen to that. In the end, I decided not to use it because, well, it just overshadowed the lyrics a bit too much. It was, you know, it was silly and it didn't fit in with what we were saying, and it just distracted from the words. But, you know, I like to listen to it from time to time, so perhaps you will as well. So pop over and listen to that. I'll make it so that it opens it in a new tab and pauses this, so you can just listen to that and then close the tab and then come back and we can carry on. In the end, I had to go for a slightly more staid bass line like this. So you've got a couple of things going on there. You've got the wah-bow ba, but also under it you've got. So up here you've got this. Now is that from the real tune or not? Let's find out. Nope, I just made that up. See, again, there's not much to actually listen to in the real tune. You got the bass line, and you got the main melody, and that's it. So I had to embellish it a bit, otherwise it would just be us singing and me just doing a bass line going bum 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 bum, and that wouldn't be very interesting to listen to. So up top you've got but then further down here I've got these 6 separate tracks, which are this. It's very floaty and pleasant, isn't it? And then we got these 2 little fellas down here, which go. And that subdued sound basically allows Brent to, you know, lead this section and be the thing that you focus on rather than the music surrounding him. He's got this kind of bouncy staccato kind of tune that he does. And then we open it up a little bit more for this. Slightly more gentle section, although still a little bit clicky snappy in the background. Our first duet moment. And then we have this.
Yeah, and made it legal.
Now, a lot of people miss this detail, but that, yeah, and made it real. That was a response to something that's actually in the game's music. Let me find it. Here it is. You hear that in the background? So we used that for, and made it real. What is your deal? Now we move on to what was originally known as the arguing section. This was one of the earlier ideas that Brent had, where he realised that the Lost Woods music, that was a bit noisy, wasn't it? That the Lost Woods music had a kind of a snappy urgency to it that he thought sounded like a bit of an argument between two people. We could turn it into a back and forth. And here's how we did it.
You know what I hate?
Well, you know what I love?
Naming shots.
Breaking pots. Just connect the dots in your Brady Bank.
Okay, well, if we go to the game's soundtrack to find that bit, we join Link as he runs through the Lost Woods. Now, if you listen to the sound of the track, start with a little tambourine sound. It's very light, it's very bouncy, like a little fairy town. Or somebody dancing around a maypole or something. It's that sort of sound. But we needed it to be more dramatic because we're in the point where the argument is ramping up now. So if we go back into the original file, you can see how we made that sound dramatic, because each of these is a kind of an impact. Ba, 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 like that. Listen. It's like someone making an argument, pointing at you, emphasizing their words. And then we go bouncy! Because this is where the arguments got to the point where we're just saying quick, snappy things to each other.
Scream.
Magic beans.
Which are dumb.
No, they're not. Zombies.
We're just comparing each other's favourite bits, or least favourite bits, basically. And then we get to this. Yes, it is. No, it's not. Yes, it is. Is not. Is too. At this point, it's just devolved into nothing. It's not even a proper argument anymore. We're just going, is not, is too. You're dumb. Screw you.
I make it sound easy, don't I? But it's very difficult to write rapid-fire lyrics like this, especially when you're already tied to what the tune has to be. And so there was something of a gap between the day Brent had the rather inspired idea to turn this tune into an argument in the first place, and our actually coming up with what the actual lyrics in that bit should be. But as I was looking through the old archives of stuff to go into this video, I found a fascinating recording that I didn't realise I had. It was a conversation between me and Brent over Skype discussing the making of this video in about, I think it was June or July 2014. Now, I realised I had a Skype recording, but I didn't know it was the one in which we came up with most of the most important and significant ideas that went into the creation of this song. Just wait and see, I'll be playing you little bits of it. But here we are, discussing the arguing section and how to really handle it.
What if this is something we do with the arguing portion? Because we haven't really got anything for that right now. All it was that you said that it sounded like, yes it is, no it's not, and that was as much as we had. Well, what if, because the last bit is, it's like, and we need to fit something in there, and what if somewhere in that we just start going like, water temple, wonderful thing, and we just start, listing stuff that's good and bad.
That could really work. Okay, so the arguing thing.
Yeah.
It seems like the rhythm of it lends itself so much to the drama.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering how much of it is personal and how much of it is, like, for instance, like, it could be, you're just wrong, you're a dick, I'm not, you are, like, it could be that, but, like, I feel like it needs to be a balance of snipes about how the other is acting, but mixed in with, but what about this element? What about this thing in the game? So it's not all personal and it's not all a barrage of game details.
On this particular topic, that's all we say in the recording, but I shall be returning you to more clips from it later on because it's really interesting and we honestly come up with all the most important ideas during this one recording. So now, back to the video!
And we ramp up to a big shut up!
Shut up!
That was fun to do. But now, all that bounciness is having been finished and done with, because now the argument's ramped up, we're just calling each other names at this point. And in fact, we used the impact bit earlier to be like our first sort of big insult moment. Well, now we've got to the point where we stop even singing, we're just yelling at each other with this.
You're the worst kind of fanboy.
You're the missing link to the past.
It's dangerous to go alone.
Take this! Wazzock! Asshole!
But there's something in there that not a lot of people have noticed. Have you spotted that that's Zelda music as well? If we go back into the original file again, we've got it here, and it's a lot of long and deep chords, and the point was to make it sound dramatic. These are two people who were friends, and now they've fallen out. So we've got these big chords going on, and these big boom impacts. Listen. But noticed before might now be going, oh, I know what that is, but perhaps you have to be a bit of a Zelda, a bit of an Ocarina of Time fan to know what we're getting at. Here's the composition track. I never know what to call this. This is where I wrote the music the first time. But if I select everything up to this quicker progression, and I cut them in half, delete everything extraneous, and then play it back... Remember that? It's the iconic moment in Ocarina of Time where Link finally becomes a man!
Incidentally, we tried out a few different insults than the ones we eventually picked for the final version. Here are some in yet another development demo, and this time it's the one that I sent to Brent in order to pitch using the Master Sword music in the background for this section. Menu screen, magic beans, which are dumb. No, they're not. Zombie scream, haunt my dream, but it's fun. It's not fun. Yes, it is. No, it's not. Yes, it is. It's not. It's too. You're dumb. Screw you. Blow me. No thanks. Damn it. Shut up. Shut up. You're the worst kind of fanboy. You're a 16-bit snob. You just parrot what you heard on the internet. You're stuck in the past. You're just a mouthpiece for marketers. Wazzock, asshole. Why don't you come here and say that to my face?
And with that, we reach the end of this whole general section of the music. Look, it cuts off there. And so we shall leave one another again until the next section of the video, in which we shall be confronting the real meat of the project, the confrontation scene. Until then, remember to dip down into the box where I'll have linked to the demos that you can listen to that go with this, if you didn't click them already as we went along. And yeah, go and enjoy yourself. Do something else for a while. You've earned it. And we shall reconvene back here for the final section. Ooh! www.youtube.com/team